This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27. Good morning to you. It's Monday morning. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We want to begin with weather this morning. Chances are it is raining where you're at. And this is on top of whatever precipitation you had yesterday. So things are really soaked out there, Todd.
Well, and this whole week, wait till you see the 7-day planning forecast. It's just going to kind of be up and down, roller coaster, everything from rain and fog and sun and cold and snow and more rain.
So keeping you busy.
Can I return this week, please?
That's just getting going. Remember last week when it was 67 and pretty nice?
Great.
A week ago today, we set that record high temperature. Here's the rain that's moving through. To the north, it's basically done. Still raining in southern locations. It's all fairly light, but boy, it's been a wet stretch of weather after we had that brief burst of snow yesterday. 34 in Logansport right now, 45 in Bloomington, 36 in Kokomo. So thankfully, everybody is above freezing. So while it could be a wet commute for some of you to work, you do not have to worry about the snow aspect of this system or any icy conditions. Temperatures today don't really move. They hold pretty steady right around 37 degrees. Morning showers this afternoon. Most of the rain should be done, but still just kind of that damp and dreary conditions as we won't get into any sunshine here later on either.
All right, Todd, thank you. And you mentioned that people won't have to worry about ice on their way to work. But one thing that a lot of people have been worrying about and we've been following up on is lights being out on I-65, a major thoroughfare that most of us utilize sometime during our week.
Yeah, you may notice as you drive through parts of I-65, I notice even sometimes coming in from the south side, it's pretty dark out there. Not a whole lot you can see other than from your headlights, and there are lights up there, but they're just not on. So people are wondering what the heck is going on. So Kelsey Anderson is looking into this, and she's going to have more on that and what she found with INDOT coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. Another story we have, this one is pretty interesting. Police reports, you a lot of times maybe need to look back at one or look to see if one happened in your area, so you can find those online nowadays. Well, right now, if you're looking up a number of police reports from IMPD, those have been taken off their website.
And this is after a man paid merely $5 to get access to his police report, and it had a lot of information on there that shouldn't have been there in the first place. So we're looking into what this man found. Our Rafael Sanchez takes this issue to IMPD about how these got out there.
Yeah.
And we'll have more on that story.
Yes, and another story we'll have, obviously, the Oscars last night. Maybe you stayed up late to watch. We're going to have a recap of the big winners, what happened for the show, and we're going to be looking at some local ties. We know the Heartland Film Festival is here in the Indianapolis area, so we're going to be looking at how some of those films did and about a new theater that's coming here. We'll have that plus news, weather, and traffic coming up.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, it is a wrap on Hollywood's biggest night. We're taking a look at the biggest winners and the most talked about moments of the evening.
And there's a big push to bring some of that Hollywood sparkle and money here to Indiana. One state senator is hoping to attract media production companies while keeping talent in the Hoosier state.
Plus, several Indianapolis churches delivering a special Sunday sermon. Hear their message to the community following a violent start to the year. 4:30 here on your Monday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us this morning to break down our forecast. And Todd, we can tell you on the roads, there's a lot of ponding because it's been raining for a while.
Yeah, you know, especially in southern locations here, the rain is still coming down. Not quite as much now in northern locales. But yeah, yesterday was the snow, and then it turned into that slop when we had all that rain move in, and the rain continues. But we're all well above freezing this morning. That is the good news across the area. Here's the light rain from Indy to Greenwood to Martinsville, Nashville, Edinburgh over to Shelbyville. You're dealing with these showers. It cuts off, though, pretty quick to the north. There's really not a whole lot going on in Lafayette as well as Peru, and most of this should move through pretty quickly now this morning. So the longer you can hold off on your morning commute, the drier it will be. However, one thing we'll have to keep an eye on is once this rain comes to an end across the area, we'll have to watch for the potential of some patchy fog to develop across the area. But the second half of the day is going to be drier than the first half of the day. And by drier, I mean we won't have precipitation falling. It's still overall going to have a pretty damp feel to it. Temperature-wise this morning as you get it going, look at this, 51 in Bedford right now. You're on the warm side of the front. 38 in Martinsville, 35 in Lafayette. Indianapolis is at 38 degrees. Temperatures today really won't do a whole lot. For those of you still in the 40s and 50s, you will fall back down into the 30s. But in the metro area, temperatures will be staying in the 30s from start to finish throughout the afternoon hours. The time now is 4:32. Let's get a first look at these wet roadways with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now. Your east side commute, I-70 here in Emerson Avenue. Traffic's moving along up to speed, and you see the wet roads we've been talking about over here on the east side, so watch for ponding, even on the interstates this morning. Here's a live look right now over across town. This is the west side, I-465 and Rockville Road. Traffic here is moving along up to speed, as you can see, on 465. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on those wet roads throughout the morning, and we'll keep you updated on any issues. History was made at the Oscars last night. The Best Picture Award going to a foreign language film for the first time.
The South Korean satire Parasite pulled off an upset win to claim the Academy's top prize. ABC's Romina Puga has all the highlights from Hollywood.
The Oscars once again without a host this year.
And this is such an incredible demotion. They don't really have hosts anymore. Why is that? Twitter!
Welcome to the 2020 Oscars! It was a night of memorable performances, including one from Best Actress nominee Cynthia Erivo.
While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night.
The big winner of the night, Parasite, becoming the first foreign language film to take home the Academy Award for Best Picture.
We never imagined this to ever happen.
Bong Joon-ho paying tribute to Martin Scorsese as he accepted his Oscar for directing.
The most personal is the most creative.
그 말은 that quote was from our great Martin Scorsese. So.
But there were no surprises in the acting categories. Brad Pitt taking home the Supporting Actor Award.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, ain't that the truth?
Laura Dern with her first Academy Award as Supporting Actress for her role in Marriage Story.
I share this with my acting heroes, my legends, Diane Ladd and Bruce Dern.
The award for Best Actress going to Renee Zellweger for her performance as Judy Garland.
Miss Garland, you are certainly among the heroes who unite and define us, and this is certainly for you.
And Joaquin Phoenix with his first Oscar for his portrayal in Joker.
I've been a scoundrel in my life and ungrateful, but so many of you in this room have given me a second chance.
And those four actors, only the second group of nominees to sweep all 5 major award shows in the same year. In Hollywood, Romina Puga, ABC News.
And once again, here's a look at the night's biggest winners. Stick with us throughout the morning for a recap of the night. And after Good Morning Indiana, GMA is taking us backstage with the winners and inside the after party.
Well, many of the films that were honored to be part of last night's Oscars rather, came from independent circuit. Those movies are hard to find here in central Indiana, but a new venue will soon be filling that void. Construction is in full swing at the Can Theater. The building is situated in Windsor Park neighborhood, just northeast of the core of downtown. The theater will eventually include 4 screens, with the largest seating 150 people to the very intimate setting of a 30-seat room. There are multiple community spaces as well.
Indianapolis has had an awesome burgeoning filmmaking community and film-loving community, but we've been missing a home to kind of gather all parties together.
Let us be your host. You come here. Let us be a convening space. Let's put your work up on the screen. Let's help all of you kind of come together. We all love film, and we've been all watching and programming film for years, so we just are so excited to bring that to a year-round venue.
Well, the Can is hoping to have their premiere screening sometime before the end of March. They're also looking to be a host site for some of Indy's film festivals. Annual memberships are available if you'd like to be a part of the Can's mission.
Right now, Indiana is not on the map when it comes to finding locations for major movies, TV shows, and commercials to be filmed. That's because Indiana is one of several states that do not offer tax incentives for film and media companies, which leaves them choosing other states. But one state senator is hoping to change that. Justin Bush says offering tax incentives would help grow our economy and keep talent in the Hoosier State.
We have great film schools here in Indiana. 65% of our graduates of those schools, though, leave Indiana to go work other places. 32 other states have a similar program, so we're just trying to be competitive. Here in the Midwest, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois is actually taking away TV shows and movies that have considered to be filmed here in Indiana.
There have been similar bills in past sessions that have not passed, but Senator Bush is hopeful this year will be different. He says 16 senators have jumped on the bill from both sides of the aisle. It is now in the hands of the House. Opponents of film tax credits are skeptical about the amount of jobs and spending film, TV, and commercial production brings to a state. Taking a look at some of those numbers from Indiana's neighboring states, between July of 2018 and July of 2019, film, TV, and commercial productions created more than 21,000 jobs in Illinois. A study from 2015 found that every dollar Ohio spends on the credit, production spends $2 supporting Ohio businesses. And after controversy over the amount spent on Kentucky's tax incentive program, lawmakers decided to limit the amount of credits to $100 million a year. In other news this morning, Indianapolis pastors are standing together to spread the message of peace. Sunday, more than 50 pastors across the city delivered special sermons addressing the recent uptick in violence. The sermons coming just days after a quadruple homicide took the lives of young adults aged 19 to 21. Pastors across the city called on community members to come together to help city leaders stop the violence.
It's going to take everyone to do this. This is not an issue that's only for the mayor or the police department. They cannot fix this by themselves. We have to stop becoming numb to it and desensitized to it so that we look at it as not our problem. It is our problem. It's everybody's problem. All of us have to be involved and concerned.
The next step is to take the discussion into upcoming Bible study classes and midweek worship services in hopes of figuring out solutions. Concerns about violence may come up today when the new IMPD chief talks to citizens at a community event. The McDonald's in Broad Ripple will host Coffee with the Chief from 1 to 2:30 this afternoon. The city says there will be no formal agenda or speeches. Instead, it's an opportunity for people to talk to Chief Randall Taylor and other IMPD leaders in a casual setting.
Today is your chance to hear new details about a new roundabout project happening on the south and southeast sides of Indianapolis. The Department of Public Works plans to transform intersections at Stop 11 Road and Combs Road, Stop 11 Road and 5 Points Road, 5 Points Road and Edgewood Avenue, and also Sherman Drive and Thompson Road. An open house to discuss the project starts at 5:30 this evening in the Franklin Central High School cafeteria. You'll be able to ask questions, provide feedback, and get details on the estimated construction timeline and planned detour routes.
2 NYPD officers injured in what the department is calling assassination attempts. Straight ahead details on the terrifying moments officers were ambushed inside their own cars and precincts.
And the New Hampshire primary is tomorrow, but all eyes are still on Iowa as the state waits for final official voting numbers. Coming up, why the Democratic Party in the state revised numbers and the effect it had on the outcome. Todd.
And as you walk out the door this morning, especially if you're walking out within the next hour or so, you'll continue to deal with these rain showers making their way through the area. To the north, though, they're starting to come to an end, and most of the rain will shift off to the east pretty quickly here this morning. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:40. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
RTV6 is working for you.
Police in Ohio are investigating after 3 people were killed in a shooting at a nightclub. The incident also leaving 2 others injured. Officers were called to the Brothers of Power Classic Cars Club in Youngstown around 4 Sunday morning. At least 1 person was found shot to death in a car. Investigators say all 3 victims are men who are believed to be in their 30s. 1 person is in custody, and police are looking for others that may be involved. Sunday's shooting is the third triple homicide in Youngstown in 15 months.
It is 4:43 in New York. Authorities have captured a man suspected of shooting at multiple NYPD officers in 2 assassination attempts. The first happened Saturday night. Police say the man, identified as 45-year-old Robert Williams, opened fire on 2 officers sitting in a marked van in the Bronx. One officer was hit in the neck and chin. A second officer was not hurt. Police say that Williams then walked into a Bronx precinct station on Sunday morning and opened fire. A lieutenant was shot in the arm. Officers returned fire and Williams surrendered after running out of bullets. He was immediately arrested. Both injured officers are expected to be okay.
The first U.S. citizen has died from coronavirus in the Chinese city of Wuhan. The U.S. Embassy in Beijing says the patient was 60 years old. A World Health Organization-led international team is expected to leave for China today or tomorrow to investigate the outbreak, which is now responsible for more than 810 deaths. Meanwhile, a cruise ship that saw a coronavirus scare is preparing to sail again. 4 passengers on Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas were tested for the virus. They had recently traveled to China. 3 of them turned out to have the flu. The ship is set to take sail today.
In Washington, 2 more officials that testified in the impeachment trial of President Trump have been fired. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman was fired from the National Security Council on Friday. The top Ukrainian expert was escorted from the White House by security. EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland was also let go on Friday. Sondland had worked on Ukraine policy with Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. His testimony tied top White House officials to a potential quid pro quo by President Trump. With Sondland and Vindman out, 8 of 12 officials who testified publicly during the impeachment hearings have left their roles, been fired, or reassigned. Turning now to Iowa, the state's Democratic Party says former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is leading the Iowa caucuses, but the battle in the Hawkeye state may not be over just yet.
Democratic candidates have until 1 p.m. Eastern today to call for a recanvass or recount, and that's expected to happen. Updated vote numbers and a review of precincts has Buttigieg claiming 14 delegates. Senator Bernie Sanders is in second place with 12 delegates, but the Sanders team says Iowa is still in play and they're set to fight the results. About 3% of precincts in Iowa were reviewed after reports of inconsistencies.
At 4:46, the Olympics are just 5 months away, and we're getting a first look at the uniforms Teams USA will don as they step out on the medals podium in Tokyo. Nike revealed a look at the fashion show. The company says the new designs were inspired by recycled materials that make up the medals, as well as Japanese kimonos. The national team logo and other parts of the outfit will be made from recycled athletic shoes and surplus manufacturing scraps. The jacket and pants will be made from 100% recycled materials, including nylon and polyester. Medalists will also be given Nike VaporMax shoes, which are made from 75% recycled manufacturing waste. Right now, if you're heading out, you probably need the raincoat, Todd, for your fashion.
Yeah,
you might need goggles and swim cap, too.
Yeah, 1.3 inches of rain yesterday officially at the airport in Indianapolis, and we've tacked on to that since midnight in many locations. And here's a live look at Storm Team 6 radar. Not much going on to the north, but really from Indianapolis southward, we continue to deal with these showers, a few heavier downpours now just east of downtown as you work your way into the Greenfield area. To the south, some light rain showers here in Nashville, into Franklin, Edinburgh, down into the Columbus area. This rain, though, is moving through fairly quick. So as you walk out the door this morning, if you're walking out, say now till about 7 o'clock, you're probably going to run into some rain. If you hold off until after 7 o'clock, a lot of this should be starting to wrap up across the area. That's the good news. And look at how much precipitation's out there. This stretches all the way from the tip of the United States there in northern Maine through the Midwest, all the way down towards the Texas area. But this front will continue to work its way eastward. That's the good news. Off to our west, you notice drier weather, and that's what's going to start to work its way in here later on this afternoon. But this is a cold front that is going through, so we're still in the 50s in Bedford, 40s in Connorsville as well as Richmond, and then mid-30s as you work your way into Lafayette. If you're in the 50s, your temperatures are going to continue to fall here this morning, back down into the 30s. If you're in the 30s right now, your temperatures stay basically pretty steady throughout the course of the remainder of the day as that front just divides this nice mild air that we briefly kind of of got into late last night to the very cold air that is off to our northwest. Here's your timeline of the rain coming to an end by 9 o'clock. It's just a few lingering showers, mainly in southern locations. That's just about it. Skies are going to try to clear later on this afternoon. I don't think they're going to be very successful. There's just so much moisture out there, and the ground is so soggy that I think the clouds will definitely win out later on today, but it will be drier compared to this morning. So throughout the day, again, not much of a change temperature-wise. We get back up to about 37 degrees with maybe a hint of sunshine here or there, and that is just about it. Looking ahead to tomorrow, it's a dry day briefly across the area with temperatures that will be topping off right around 40 degrees and skies that'll be mostly cloudy. On Wednesday, we bring some snow in. That goes over to rain, ends as snow showers on Thursday. A brief cold blast of temperatures in the 20s on Friday, then back up into the 40s on Saturday and Sunday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on your roads this morning. Here's a look north of downtown, I-65 here at 30th Street. You can see the ponding there in the shoulder, so use caution as you're heading out there so you don't hydroplane this morning. Traffic, though, is moving along up to speed here on I-65. No delays to slow you down. So let's take a look up on the north side. Same story here, just wet roads and traffic moving along just fine. I-465 over the White River. We'll keep an eye out for any crashes or delays, and of course, we'll keep you updated this morning. Now to a consumer alert for parents this morning. Around 14,000 baby carriers are being recalled due to faulty buckles that could cause children to fall out. The carriers are made by Infantino, and they were sold at Walmart, Target, and Amazon stores between November and December of last year. Affected products include the Go Forward, Flip Front, and Up Close models. No injuries have been reported yet. If you do have one of these affected products, stop using it immediately. You can contact Infantino for a refund or a replacement. That information can be found right on the RTV6 mobile app.
A new degree program at Colorado State University is giving new meaning to the term higher learning. Beginning next fall, the school will offer a degree in cannabis biology and chemistry. The Bachelor of Science program will be located on the Pueblo campus, where CSU has an Institute of Cannabis Research. Students can choose one of two tracks, either a natural products track focused on biology or an analytical track that focuses on chemistry. CSU's program is not the first of its kind, however. Northern Michigan University offers a bachelor program in medicinal plant chemistry.
It is 4:51. Die-hard Britney Spears fans can indulge in the pop star's most iconic moments one more time. An interactive pop-up museum and retail experience is opened in Los Angeles. The Zone is a 10-room, 30,000 square foot space. Each room is designed to mimic a different video or musical era. From Baby One More Time to Toxic to I'm a Slave for You, the museum will be open through April 26th.
Oh, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A little girl is reunited with her special doll after losing it on an airplane. Coming up, how Delta employees went above and beyond the call of duty to help make that reunification happen.
And coming up all new at 5, there continues to be problems with lights on I-65 through one part of the downtown area. Our Kelsey Anderson is working for you this morning, looking at why these lights have stayed off and what INDOT is doing to fix that issue. It's 4:52. We'll be right back after this short break.
Work weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
Well, Delta Airlines is known for going above and beyond the call of duty for their customers, and this week they did just that to get a special doll back to a little girl.
Kenley and her mom, Ariel, were traveling from Connecticut to Florida when Kenley's daddy doll was lost on one of the planes. The doll was given to her after her dad was deployed. Not only does it have his picture on it, but it has a recording of his voice. Kenley's mom posted on Facebook asking for help finding the doll. That's when Valeria Zamora and Sheila Jones stepped in. The women made it their mission to track down the doll.
Once we had heard that, the Delta people across the system rallied together to locate this doll. And because it was so special, we didn't feel like mailing it was the right thing to do.
Crews ended up finding the doll in Atlanta. Zamora and Jones escorted it from there to Savannah to get it back to Kenley, along with some other special gifts. Kenley's mom says Delta even had a plan in place to ship a recorder overseas and remake the doll if it wasn't found. Wow, that's so cool. Sweet.
Oh, and she's so cute.
Darling. Yeah. Darling.
Glad the doll is back where it belongs.
Yes, and we are glad that temps are not below freezing this morning because of all all the precipitation we've had over the past 24 hours or so.
Yeah, you know, it started as snow yesterday, and if it would have stayed snow, we'd probably have over a foot of snow by now with all the rain that's fallen. But it's all rain here this morning. And that is the good news, as temperatures are in the 30s and 40s across the area. You notice there's more rain to the south than to the north, but you'll want to have the umbrella handy this morning as you walk out the door. The rain showers will end by midday. Tomorrow's dry, but then another rain-snow mixture arrives by midweek. We'll talk more about the 7-day planning forecast you see right there coming up when the news here continues on Good Morning Indiana.